Now we're going to look at finding the exact values of trigonometric functions of secant, cosecant, tangent, and cotangent. So here's our drawing. Here's our angle T, where it's on the point xy. So tangent is sine over cosine, where cosine can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. Secant is going to be 1 over cosine. And we're going to cosine can't be 0. Cosine t can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. Cosecant is 1 over sine, where sine of t can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. And cotangent of t is cosine t over sine t, where sine t can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. Okay. So in this structure, though, with y's and x's, for our tangent, secant, cosecant, and cotangent functions, t is a real number and xy is a point. I don't like that. Let me do a space there. Yeah. Where the terminal side of an angle of t radians intersects the unit circle, then tangent would be the y over the x, where x can't be 0. Secant is going to be 1 over x, where x can't be 0. Cosecant is 1 over y, where y can't be 0. And cotangent is x over y, where y can't be 0. So here's another diagram. And we have a point. The point is negative square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. That's where this angle ends. So finding trig functions from a point on the unit circle. So the point is on the unit circle. Find sine t, cosine t, tangent t, secant t, cosecant t, and cotangent t. Okay, so start off with sine t. Oh, I didn't go to blue. It shows blue. Sine t is going to be just the y value, which is 1/2. Cosine t is going to be the x value, which is negative square root of 3 over 2. Tangent t is going to be the y over the x, so 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2, which would be 1/2 times, that's equals, times the reciprocal, negative 2 over the square root of 3, which would become, the 2's would cancel. It become negative 1 over the square root of 3. Now if we rationalize that denominator, we get negative square root of 3 over 3. Now our cosecant of t is going to be 1 over the y, so, or 1 over sine. So it's 1 over 1/2, which is 2. Secant of t is going to be 1 over the x. So it's going to be 1 over the cosine, 1 over the negative square root of 3 over 2, which would give us negative 2 over the square root of 3. And if we rationalize that denominator, we get negative 2 root 3 over 3. It's kind of messy, I'm sorry. And then for cotangent t, that's going to be the, I'll do that twice, it's going to be the x value over the y value, or cosine over sine. So it's going to be negative square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2, which becomes negative square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. And so the 2's reduce out to give us negative square root of 3. Wasn't that fun? Now it says find sine t, cosine t, tangent t, secant t, cosecant t, and cotangent t when t is pi over 6. So from previous section we know, and now that you've memorized it, sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. Cosine of pi over 6 is the square root of 3 over 2. So tangent of pi over 6 is going to be the sine over the cosine, so 1/2 divided by the square root of 3 over 2. This looks familiar, doesn't it? So that's going to be 1/2 times 2 over the square root of 3, because we multiply by the reciprocal. The 2's divide out. We end up with 1 over the square root of 3. Rationalizing the denominator, so we don't have a radical in the denominator. Square root of 3 over 3. Cosecant of t is going to be 1 over sine, so 1 over 1/2. It's going to be 2. Secant of t is 1 over cosine, so 1 over the square root of 3 over 2, which is 2 over the square root of 3. So multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3. And what do we get? We get 2 root 3 over 3. And then cotangent of pi over 6, it's going to be cosine over sine. So square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2, which is square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. 2's divide out, leaves the square root of 3. It's also the reciprocal of the tangent. So if you could think of this part right here, 1 over the square root of 3, if you flip it, you get square root of 3. And so here's a table that gives you all these pertinent values. And this is what you would really want to memorize. Everything else that goes around the whole circle, it's going to follow these. And go back to basing things on reference angles. But it'll come back to these. And then you'll have to worry about signs, positive or negative, based on the quadrant. But this is, if you want to try to minimize what you have to memorize, memorize this for sure. Okay. That'll do it for this video.